And welcome to Control Alt Deplete. We are here. This is episode 9. I guess I could unmute you. There you go. Now you're Bio. Say hello,
There we
Bio.
go. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. This is nice. I can now mute him if I want him to just, not talk.
Toxic.
Yeah. How you doing today, Bio?
I'm.
Oh, what's that? Oh, nobody can hear you. Oh, because I muted you. Oh, haha! I love this.
Did you actually mute me?
I did. Now you're unmuted. You're good now.
I was saying I'm good, but I'm very tired.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel similar.
I think I went to sleep around like 1 p.m. and I had to get up like 3 o'clock to get some shopping done.
Rough.
And then I slept another 2 hours, like 6 and 8 or something. I don't know. I'm just very tired.
Yeah, when you went to bed, that's about the time I had to get up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I've been up
I can't believe we're on episode 9 already.
I know, right? We've been rolling them out, and we've missed a couple weeks here and there, but not too bad.
Only on slow weeks, really.
Yeah, just a couple weeks where, well, we had the week where we were both sick and stuff, and then
Right.
And I think there's another week where there just wasn't much going on anyway, and we were busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Let me turn Spotify down just a hair. I think it's good. It's just coming in loud in my headphones. All right, so let's jump into the news. You want to go on that first one there for us? Lead us off.
The quest log.
Yes, sir.
So for all you questers or people that hate getting rid of quests, the quest log limit is increased to 35 from 25. So that's nice little change. Good quality of life change right there.
Yes, I am happy about that. Honestly, I don't know why it even needs to have a limit. I mean, why? Why does it need a limit?
Yeah, true.
But
I mean, probably to prevent people from getting like 100 quests ready for expansion and turning them all in.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, that is fair. Because I definitely know a few people that would take advantage of that, myself included. Yep. But yeah, no, we got the quest logs increased, so that's excellent. In my opinion, I'm very happy about that. The next thing that they announced was with the Diablo 4 pre-order. You can pre-order the standard edition for $70. Why are we talking about Diablo 4 when we're a World of Warcraft podcast? Because if you buy the Diablo 4 pre-order, you have to buy the standard edition or higher, which is, again, $70, and then it only goes up from there. It's like 70, 90, 110 or something like that. But if you buy at least a $70 standard edition, you get a mount for World of Warcraft, the Amalgam of Rage.
Cool looking mount.
The mount itself is really, really good looking. We saw it the other day, just in Orgrimmar. We saw it and we're like, ooh, what is that? That's nice. And it is. It's a very good looking mount. But if you plan on getting Diablo 4 anyway, it's a no-brainer. Go ahead and get it. You'll get your mount. You're probably gonna get the collector's edition or whatever anyway for Diablo 4. However, for me and you, it's kind of up in the air. I know, because I know you said you don't really expect yourself to play Diablo 4. I don't think I'll end up getting it. I might, but I don't know. I haven't decided.
Yeah.
But $70 mainly just for a mount is a little pricey for me. Obviously, it comes with the game too. But if you're not planning on playing the game and you just want the mount,
Yeah.
But no, we'll see. You think you'll get it at any point, or do you think you'll just wait and see if it goes on sale in the store at some point?
I'm not gonna get it because I'm not gonna play Diablo. Yeah, it's like $85 Canadian for a mount. So
yeah.
So I kind of doubt I'll get it, but I mean, if they release it on the store, well, I doubt they'll put it on the store. But if they do, I'll probably buy it then.
Right. No, that makes sense. I would say I might buy it maybe, like I said earlier, maybe after my tax refunds. I don't know, because I do think it'd be cool to just play through at least the campaign on Diablo 4 at some point, maybe see how that is. I still want to play. I've got Diablo 3. I haven't even finished ever playing the campaign on it, but I did enjoy the campaign on there. But
Yeah, I played a little Diablo 3 with my dad on their Switches.
nice, nice. But yeah, so then we have the Race to World First event for the Vault of the Incarnates. We've
Yeah,
got 3 guilds have announced, or 4 guilds, three different events. Um, we got Method is doing their event. Uh, Echo and Big Dumb Gaming are teaming up.
and Team Liquid.
Limit, yeah, Liquid used to be Limit, I guess. Now they're Liquid, but yeah, they are doing an event as well. So it looks like Methods event. I mean, they're all going to start on December 14th. They
Yeah.
just said they don't have a specific time, I don't think, but it'll be on their Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/methodgg, I believe. Um, and then Echo and Big Dumb Gaming Guild are gonna have on. I guess it is separate ones. They're team up. It'll be on Echo's. Um, yeah, it'll be on Echo's Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Echo Esports.
Yep.
And then Team Liquid will have it on their Twitch channel, of course. And that'll be twitch.tv/Team Liquid. You want to take us through some of the casters that
Yeah,
they've
I'll start
announced?
off with Echo and Big Dumb Gaming.
All right.
So, the ones that stand out caster wise is Esfand, Azragold, and a guy named Jason. I'm not sure who that is, to be honest.
Right. Yep.
But Esfand and Azragold, big streamers. So it's pretty cool to get them to
Yep.
cast your attempt at world first.
Yep. I see. Tettles is gonna be. Doing some
Tettles,
stuff
yeah.
with him.
Preach, Rich, Dratnos.
Yep.
And what's the if you're looking at the page, what's the one with like the 10 people on it? I see
At the top,
Gingy.
that's the actual raid team,
Okay,
or at least
those
the
are the ones
known.
that are streaming.
Yeah, those are probably the ones that are just streaming.
Okay. I don't recognize really any of these guys besides Stripe and Genji.
I know most of them.
And Noogie.
Yeah, there's Nagi, there's Mirez,
Nagi.
Zalia, Frago. I don't recognize. Roger Brown. Was one of their big strategists. Narcoles has been with them for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Tobo I know is new. Lorgox has been with them for quite a while. I don't know how long Frago has been with them. And then yeah, I think that's all that I recognize from there. As far as methods, they didn't really put too much on there.
They haven't really said.
Let me see here if they've got stuff on their actual page. Here we go. All right, so on their website, they've got their casters and their you've got Kexman, Grant, which they were both streaming or hosting the Race to World First leveling. They've got Mr. GM. Sko is going to be casting. I don't know if you caught the announcement. He is not going to raid. He's retiring from raiding essentially, or at least for currently. He's not gonna raid with them. I think he's going to be like coaching them, kind of like what Maximum has done for Liquid. Because Maximum doesn't actually raid anymore. He just watches and then keeps an eye out and calls out different things and like is their strategist and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they've got Dark Merch, Deep Shades, Kurame, Cybear, Rage Darling, Sam Talks, and Shekin are going to be having streams on there. Some of those, I think those are all the casters. I don't think any of them are actually playing. So I guess Deep Shades maybe has stopped raiding as well. I don't know, because he normally is on the raid team, but they're showing him as a
Right.
caster, so he may has is not attempting it this time. But yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
And then as far as let's see, Liquid, you've got.
We got
Go ahead.
Aya and Jigura, the both beautiful women. Kalmazi, he's a good warlock. I watch his stream sometimes.
Yep.
Mix, not really sure who that is. You got Preheat, Zyronic, Cams, Jet, Automatic, Jack. I know about half of those people.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I don't think they've listed their raid team, at least not on the Wowhead article. I'm sure on their website they've got it, but
they also have Team Liquid is doing a donation goal setup. It looks like.
Yep.
For getting certain points or not points, certain amount of money, they'll do certain things. Like for example, 5,000 casters dressed like reindeer. Or that's a weird one. 7,500 casters eat a what the hell is that? Pilky? I don't know. Yeah, they just have some goals to keep things light and fun.
Yep. And Echo and Big Dumb Gaming also have some charity donations as well for incentives. So,
okay.
yep, they've got.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yep. Method usually has something. I don't see anything on their website currently, but they've got a bunch of extra stuff they're doing. They've got some music that they've put together that's copyright free, so people can use that for like streaming and stuff. It's going to be for part of their stuff. I'm sure they're going to have they'll probably have some kind of charity event that they like to do. They usually have something that's going on. I just don't see any kind of announcement for it. But yes, December 14th is the start of. Well, that's for them. Race of World first. Let's see. Liquid. When is Liquid starting?
Probably the 13th.
That's what I'm thinking. Yep. It does not say. Let's see on their page here. Yes, December 13th they will be starting. So I guess, unfortunately, we're not getting a worldwide release for the raid. Really was kind of hoping that would happen, but it does not appear to be the case. I think it's probably due more to the weekly resets. It's a little. I mean, you could. It launches one thing because launch you still have your weekly reset on Tuesday for NA and Oceanic, and then on Wednesday for EU, and then on Thursday for Asian servers. Now you can't with launch. It doesn't matter with the reset. Whatever, who cares? I understand some of the logistics behind. You can't have the raid have a same worldwide launch because if you do, that would then, let's say it launches on Tuesday reset. The problem with that then is that the next day, if you have a worldwide release, the next day EU is going to have their weekly reset, and then Asian servers are going to have their weekly reset. So then all the weekly quests that you can do to get gear and everything, EU and Asia would have a advantage in that situation because they would be able to get an extra reset in after that started. But then also, actually, I've actually put them at a little bit of a disadvantage because technically NA would get the reset right away and be able to go do that. But then also, let's say an EU guild goes in worldwide launch and clears 4 bosses. Well, then weekly reset next day. Are they gonna have to go in and re-clear those 4 bosses?
Yeah.
Like I can understand on a technical logistics standpoint how it's a little bit difficult to do the worldwide release, but Blizzard needs to figure it out because we need the worldwide release for a raid.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I mean, I can't say unspoken because it's spoken about all the time. You'll see it all the time. EU and Asian servers have a disadvantage in the race to world first because they start, EU starts 16 hours behind NA, and then I don't know what the Asian time difference is. I want to say it's like 30 some hours behind. So it's kind of one of those things. They're always at a disadvantage, but it'd be nice to just have a fair, fresh start. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Will it be in our time? Who knows?
Yep. So moving on.
Yep.
We have launch night issues.
Mm-hmm.
Addressed by Blizzard.
Yes.
I kind of skimmed through Blue Post a little bit.
Yep.
And Blizzard's just kind of saying, like, you know what, the launch isn't all at once. It comes out in, like, pieces, you know.
Yeah.
They said expansions now consist of several smaller launches. For example, the code first goes live running the old content in pre-launch events, the new systems turn on, and finally the content launch day, new areas, quests, and dungeons. Each stage changes different things so we can find and fix the problem. But in any large, complex system, the unexpected can still occur. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah. So, well, what I like about this post, I don't know how much you read through it. I read the whole thing because
Okay,
I wanted to know. I wanted to know. So basically, what happened was it was an issue with their encryption system and the their main I can't remember what it was called. Um, there was a small logic error in the code, and it had misplaced line of code. A misplaced line of code signaled to the server that it needed to recalculate which records to hide in the encryption system, even though nothing had changed. So it was the encryption, and then what's the second system? The timed. I can't remember what they called it, but it had some kind of name to it. But basically, the two different systems, the way that they were communicating with each other was causing issues, and then the issue with the line of code
yes,
caused.
I see the little part. You know.
Yeah, that caused all the issues. And basically, it was whenever anyone was trying to get to the Dragon Isles, it was sending through it was making their encryption system send a signal to recalculate all the records to hide. So what happened was they already had learned from the Wrath of the Lich King launch to have it be ready to put portals. So they already had portals built in, ready to go in case they needed it. They had several employees that they had going onto the boat to see what would happen, and other employees that were staying back in case they needed to create portals. So what happened was they saw immediately, okay, all the loading screen issues with that. Few people got in. Most people got sent back to Orgrimmar or stuck in their loading screen. So then what happened was they said, okay, let's make portals. Go ahead and go with that plan. So they made the portals. However, what they didn't know is because of what the actual issue was. It was whenever people tried to load into the Dragon Isles, their system sent a whole list of codes to check for hidden encrypted files. And that's what was causing all the delays and lags. So when they created the portals, that actually made the problem worse, because up to that point, the only time people were loading into and trying to load in was whenever the boat would go. Well, the boat stopped going after the first couple attempts. The boat didn't come back. But once they made the portals, what happened then was players could just go and just continuously keep clicking on the portal over and over and over. And every time a player clicked on the portal, it caused the system to send that check through, which caused even more lag. So it was a little feedback loop kind of there, where the portals actually made the lag even worse. As we know, things got better Monday night, like about 3 hours in. We were able to finally 3.5 hours in. We were able to play without too much lag. They did not actually get a full-on. They didn't figure out the issue until Tuesday morning. The only reason the lag got better that night was simply because there weren't as many people on and not as many people trying to go through. And
Right.
every time people were trying to go through, some of them made it, some of them didn't. So once some people got in and it got through all those checks, it was fine for those people. But yeah, it was Wednesday morning before they were able to get a full-on fix to the code and issue. Um, but no, the whole post, I was really happy to see it because they really gave a good in-depth look, laid out. Here's what the issue was. These were the two systems. This is how we figured it out. Here's a timeline. So I liked that kind of transparency from them. That
Yeah.
I mean, it took a couple weeks. Obviously, it's been almost 2 weeks since launch night. So it took a little while for them to figure that out and get everything put together to let us know. But in the past, sometimes we didn't get any issues. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things I was talking to my wife about this a while back. One of the frustrating things is a lot of times something will happen and you ask, you know, servers go down and unexpectedly, and we're all sitting here going, is it on our end? Is it a Blizzard end? And we don't hear anything from Blizzard for several hours before Blizzard even communicates, we're aware there's an issue. And like that's one thing that would be really nice is if they just had somebody whose job it was when stuff crashes within the first 10 minutes, it's their job to go onto the forum or Twitter or whatever and post, we're having these issues, we're working on it, just to make us know and acknowledge that they are aware of it. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, on launch night, I don't think any of us thought that they were sitting there going, oh, everything's going just fine. I think we all knew that they were aware there's an issue. But I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, I think it was, when we were, I can't remember if it was pre-patch or if it was before pre-patch. We were trying to log into the game and we kept getting world servers down. And
Right.
on the forums, people, were talking all about, hey, all the servers are down, all the servers are down, nobody can get into the servers. And a Blizzard employee literally comes onto the forums after like an hour of us all being, hey, servers are down, we can't get in, what's going on? An employee for Blizzard comes onto the forum and said, we don't know what you're talking about, all the servers are up. And like that level of, wait, what? The fact that like an
Like they
hour,
don't even know.
yeah, the servers were down for an hour and Blizzard is saying there's nothing wrong. Like that is the kind of thing that gets really frustrating in my opinion. And that's why I really like this post, because it's just that concern of sometimes when things go down, it's just like, do they even know that this isn't working? Are they aware of this? Like it would just be nice to get an acknowledgement right away.
Yeah.
Because even on launch night, I think it was a couple hours before anybody from Blizzard posted anything whatsoever saying, "Hey, we're aware of issues." Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously on launch night, we know any issues they're probably aware of because it's all hands on deck. But no, I've if you guys want to read through the post, Wowhead has it up there. It came out a couple days ago. Um, again, I was really happy to see it because it's just nice to get some information on that night, especially for me, how frustrating that was. It's really nice to see um, an update on it and just get some answers as to what happened.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Any more thoughts for you?
Um. Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they're addressing it and saying like, "Hey, this is what happened," but it doesn't change the fact that we put all that work in for nothing.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I am glad though that we got some answers. It's a lot better than just going on and
Yeah.
because it sounds like this whatever happened there is something that is preventable, very much preventable, and hopefully at least now that they know the issue, maybe the next expansion, maybe that won't happen. I don't have much
Yeah.
hope though. Um,
Yeah.
all right, and then the next big topic that we have, and all the tanks out there. Oh, yeah, we're not happy about this. Um, so, because of from whatever reasons, Blizzard didn't say why they claim they Blizzard claims that tanks are too survivable, which clearly means they have not played Brewmaster tank, because Brewmasters are struggling like crazy out there right now. Um, but no, they are doing a 10% damage reduction nerf across the board for all tanks. So every tank had some kind of passive ability or talent that would normally give them, whatever 10%, whether it gave them 10% damage reduction, now it just doesn't give them any damage reduction. Or like I think for demon hunters, our ability that gave us 20% damage reduction got changed to 10% damage reduction, stuff like that. Um, for the good tanks, the high end top tier tanks like Prot Warrior and honestly even Vengeance DH, I don't think Vengeance DH is gonna get too affected by it. Prot Warrior definitely isn't gonna be affected by it. They nerfed, I want to say it was like Devotion Aura or something they nerfed, and Prot Warriors aren't even using Devotion Aura. Literally using the Devotion stance, not Aura. They're not using Protection stance. That's what it was. They're using Battle stance because they don't need Protection stance right now.
Yeah.
But and here's the thing: tanks might need that 10% damage reduction nerf. Maybe that is a thing that we need. I don't think certain tanks need. I know Prot Pally, Brewmaster Monk definitely don't need that nerf. Those two are struggling a lot as far as survivability issues. Anyway, they did not need a nerf. I could see nerfs going out to again like the top tier tanks like Prot Warrior and Vengeance DH. However, my concern is this: where are they getting this data from that's saying tanks are able to take too much damage? Because all we've got is Mythic Zeros. So we haven't had Mythic Plus come out yet. So why are we making all these tuning changes, especially such a big tuning change that affects tanks massively? Why are we making these tuning changes when we don't have any data from Mythic Plus right now?
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen is people are complaining that tanks are, I know on the forums, which again, the forums are just, but
A mess.
on the forums, a lot of people were complaining about, I was in a dungeon and the tank just chain pulled and wouldn't stop pulling and all of us died and blah, blah, blah. First off, it's Mythic Zeros, and if you're in 272 gear, you already outgear Mythic Zeros. Mythic Zeros are tuned to about a 250 item level, 245 item level, I would say.
Yeah.
From
They're easy.
yeah, from doing them, I was 250 on the Demon Hunter, and you were like 250 something, I think, or 248 on your Hunter, and it was not an issue at all. They were
pretty easy.
yeah. So I don't think that the issue is necessarily on the tank side. I think the issue is your Mythic Zeros are just tuned really easy, and yeah, we can pull all the way to the boss. I mean, I know whenever I go back and whenever we're halfway through Mythic Plus season and I'm like gonna help somebody that's still leveling or just needs normal gear or whatever, and I'm gonna do a normal dungeon, yeah, I pull all the trash all the way to the boss because I can. Like it's just, when you outgear it, it's easy to do. Um, but I think also the reason DPS are dying is one, use your interrupts, use your stunts. Like
There's a
people,
lot of stuff to kick this
yeah,
expansion so far.
yeah. There's a lot of interrupts out there, so people have to learn to use the interrupts. Another thing that I know myself and a couple other tanks I was talking to yesterday were talking about was like, listen, right now is the time that we don't know the dungeons all that well. So we're pushing the envelope. We're right now because at this level in Mythic Zeros, yeah, we are pretty much unkillable in a lot of the Mythic Zeros. It's not that we are OP, it's just that the Mythic Zeros aren't hard.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is, and I know this is what I've been doing, and what a lot of tanks I was talking to, they do the same thing. We're gonna pull 3-4 packs at a time because we want to see how much damage, how much can we pull in one pull and still be able to survive. How much can we pull and everyone else can still survive? So like, yeah, if you see your tank pull 4 packs and then all the DPS wipe but the tank lives, that doesn't mean the tank's OP. It means, okay, there's a lot of casts and stuff that are going out that are targeting non-tank people. So that tells us as tanks, okay, when we hit Mythic Plus, we don't want to pull those mobs because this pack has 2 casters that'll target anybody. This pack has 2 casters that'll target anybody. We don't want 4 casters targeting anybody. We want to split those up. So a lot of stuff you're going to see right now is with tanks pulling massive pulls is we're testing our limits because we don't know what they are right now. and once Mythic Plus comes out, you're not going to see tanks going and pulling the entire trash all the way to the boss.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about like Echo and Limit and stuff like that, you know, the top Mythic Plus teams out there. Um, but I think the general consensus, especially among tanks, is that this was a nerf that was not needed. It was to fix an issue that doesn't exist. It was basically just
Right.
people complaining because the tank pulled and they died. Like, that seems to be the majority of the complaints about it and what led to this. Um, I know I've been talking about this, and I'll let you weigh in here in a second. I personally think that what's going to happen is a few weeks into the season, either the change is going to be reverted or they're going to have to nerf the dungeons. Because I think what's going to happen is Mythic Pluses, tanks are going to start getting one shot when they get to the higher keys, when they normally wouldn't have been getting one shot. So I think it'll cause some issues. It also really hurts the lower if you're somebody who, bless your soul, is going to play a Brewmaster Monk during Mythic Plus, you're really going to be limited. Because you're, like I said, Brewmaster Monks really were struggling on the defensive side. They do great damage, but on the defensive side, they really struggle. They don't have much self-healing. They don't have a ton of great defensives, and this hurts them even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think some of the lower tier tanks, this really kind of hurts them a lot and is going to limit how far you can go. And honestly, it's going to push more towards forcing people to go to those one or two, maybe top 3 tanks, and get away from everybody able to play whatever tank they want to play. So I don't know. I think it was a problem that didn't really exist, and they came up with a solution that's going to make things worse. So
I don't really play tanks, but an issue I see is like tanks that are new to tanking and are learning are gonna get punished defensive wise. Like,
yes,
they're learning what to click during what situations, but they don't get that chance to learn because they're dying so quick.
Yep.
I don't know. That's what I think.
Well, and that's the other thing that we've talked about is like, especially in the first couple of seasons of Shadowlands. The first season was really bad. The second season I think was a little bit better, but in the first season, and I stopped playing any myth. I pretty much stopped playing WoW shortly after the first season started because the the tanking strategy was kite. No matter which tank spec you were, you just had to kite. That was it. Like, your job was to kite. I hate kiting. If you're gonna force me to kite to survive, I'm not gonna play that tank. Like, I don't like kiting. It makes it so much more difficult to hold threat when you have to kite every 5 seconds because you're not doing damage, and if you're not doing damage, you're not holding threat. And that was an issue I had in the first season, and they had to nerf all the dungeons to make it so that we didn't have to keep kiting. And I think that's something we're a bit worried about happening again, because kiting's not fun. So what that's going to lead to also is tanks were in a really good spot going into this nerf. And I think, I think Prot Warriors is still fine. I think Vengeance CH is probably still fine. Death Knights, kind of like on the edge right now, and then Brewmaster and Prot Pally, it's gonna hurt them a lot. But I think the issue is tanking was looking like it would be nice and a lot of fun, and now you made this change and you're gonna make it a lot less fun. And right now, still the hardest spec to find people that want to play it is tank. So that's an issue too, is we don't have enough tanks playing WoW right now anyway, because tanking hasn't been very fun for a while. Shadowlands really hurt tanks in the early part of it. And now it looks like they're going down that route again, potentially hurting tanks. And I'll tell you right now, Blizzard's argument was that the survivability of tanks were taking away from the fun of healers, because healers weren't able to heal the tank. And I will say, in my experience, in the last 5 years, 6 years, whatever, that I've been doing Mythic Plus and I've been tanking Mythic Plus, I've never had one healer say, man, you wish you couldn't heal yourself that much because that was just boring and I wasn't having fun. No, you know what happens if the tank can heal themselves really well? Uh, that healer just starts unloading in DPS and has a blast because they can just focus on DPSing.
Yeah, or healing the group if they need it.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. If you can eliminate having to heal your tank too much, if your tank can heal themselves or just not take that much damage, it frees up the healer to do so much more in the dungeon. And
Yeah,
most healers that I have found, they love it when a tank doesn't need that much healing. So the whole
right.
argument of it wasn't fun for healers because they didn't have anything to heal, I don't buy that one bit. I've never met a healer who in a dungeon went, man, I wish I had more to heal. This was boring and terrible. It wasn't fun. Never, not one, not one.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I know I'm going on and on today, but
Well, that's all right.
that
Yeah.
was it's one that's been irritating for the last couple ever since they announced it yesterday afternoon. I think it was um, just because it's we want to see tanks. We want more tanks in the game. Um,
Yeah.
I my personal opinion is I think tanks should be able to do just as much damage as DPS. Maybe not quite as high, but if like we should be able to keep up with a third place DPS most times pretty easily. I think. I don't think we should be doing as low of damage as we're doing because what's the fun part of WoW is pulling giant packs and being able to do big DPS numbers.
Yeah.
Like no matter regardless of which class you are, whether you're a healer, a tank, DPS, whatever, everybody likes putting up big numbers. So what's one way to do that? Let us be able to pull 3 packs at once. I think that's what made BFA so much fun, Mythic Plus wise, that Shadowlands really kind of sucked at. Um, BFA, you didn't have the big target cap for a lot of abilities, and
Yeah.
you could just pull massive if you wanted to. If your tank could handle it, you could pull massive, and everyone could do tons of damage. Then in Shadowlands, they put in the target cap, which was not fun, especially because you only had like 2 or 3 classes that would have AOE abilities that weren't capped. So then that class was just massively out DPSing everybody.
Right.
They've kind of relaxed on that a little bit with the reduced damage. It's a much better in between, but I mean, again, the most fun people have in Mythic Plus, in my opinion, is getting to pull 3 or 4 packs and have one big giant pool where we've got tons of mobs and just seeing those DPS numbers just go off the charts. That's what I think people enjoy the most. I don't. You're a DPS, so give me your perspective. What is it that you find the most fun to do whenever you're doing Mythic Plus?
Uh, Depending on the class, but it's the big pulls, like putting up huge numbers, just having fun, doing lots of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like single target and cleave boss fights. Like those are interesting, like certain specs. But if I had to pick one thing I like the most, it's the big pulls.
Right. Now, what would you rather have? A tank who can't pull more than 1 pack at a time, or a tank who can handle pulling, say, 3 packs at a time?
Definitely pulling 3 packs. Like
Right?
it's a
Like,
no-brainer.
yeah, I don't understand. I think, honestly, a lot of the complaints on the forums are from people who don't do Mythic Plus because they're the stuff that I saw was people saying that if you're a tank and you're pulling multiple packs, you're a bad tank because you're getting everybody killed. Like, have you never watched Mythic Plus dungeons? Like, that's literally the strategy is to pull multiple packs whenever you can. Because if you don't and you just pull 1 pack at a time, you're not going to time the key.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people complaining are people who don't ever do anything other than normal or heroic dungeons.
Right.
But I don't know. You want to take us through the next topic we've got?
Yes. So you get the daily and weekly to-do list
Yes, this is what you're all
for
here to hear.
Dragonflight Week 2.
Woohoo!
So daily wise, you have rares, super rares, PvP world quests, and war supply crate. The rares can drop to 372, and super rares can drop to 385. gear, so get those done.
Yes, and those are all scaled based off of your item level. So I think it's about 10 to 15. I think the regular rares are like roughly 10 item levels above whatever your item level is, and the super rares I think are 15 above whatever your item level is. Could be wrong on that,
Yeah,
but I think that's about how it works.
yeah, and going into bi-weekly, we have World Quest, and this one I don't know if I know much about it. Camp A-Lag Quest.
Yeah, that's kind
I'm
of the area where the hunt kind of sometimes starts. It's in Onaran Plains. It's just a camp. They have a bunch of dailies. Pretty much that is just getting you can farm that a little bit and do the dailies to get reputation with the Maruk.
Oh, okay. Weekly we have Aid in the Accord, and like what me and Buck are doing is you want to hold on to it till probably about Monday.
Yep.
So you give yourself the chance to get a higher item level to make your Aid in the Accord treasure chest drop a higher item level as well. So yeah,
Yes.
I'd say hold on to them until Monday
Yep. Because
at the
those
latest.
also scale with your item level. So definitely wait until. I mean, I think I did mine on my Demon Hunter because I'm not doing anything else with them the rest of the week. I've already got everything done, other than farming
Yeah.
some rares. But I think I've actually got that done too now.
We have profession quests, which I don't know much about.
Same.
So I haven't really worked on professions yet. I've been meaning to, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, there's a weekly quest. It looks like that you can get a artisan's medal. I don't know what that's for. I'm guessing it's some kind of somewhat hard to get crafting reagent that is used for crafting some decent gear.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really know.
We have Mythic Zeros. Get those done because that's good gear to get to prepare for the raid.
Yep. What's the item level on that gear for Mythic Zeros?
372.
Yes, sir. I know we've already got ours done on my Demon Hunter and your
Hunter.
Hunter. Yes. So we need to do some on. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some done on the warrior and on your monk tonight. We'll see.
Yes, that'd be nice. We have dungeon quests, which are weekly. I didn't know that they were weekly.
So it's not the regular dungeon quest that we picked up. There are two dungeon quests in Valdrakken. Kind of like how in Shadowlands in Oribos you had the two weekly dungeon quests that you can do.
Oh, okay.
That's what these are. So when you complete those, you can pick one of the factions and you get reputation for that faction.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing as what it was in Shadowlands. Just there's two dungeons per week. I'm sure they're on some kind of rotation.
Yeah. We have Sibelian and Rathion quest, which is by the Dragon Bane Keep, I'm pretty sure. The Obsidian
Yes.
Citadel. We have Trial of the Element and Trial of Blood.
Yep. I want to give a quick little tip on that Trial of Elements and Trial of Flood as well.
Sure.
So the best way to do those, because those have a spawn timer between 1 to 2 hours, but you don't know when it's going to be. Best way to do those is the Trial of Flood is in Onaran Plains, kind of in the south, center south part of it. And then the Trial of Elements, you actually need to go to Thaldraszus and go to the big platform where Chromie and Nosdormu are at. And after you've completed the campaign, you can take the portal to the Primalist Future, which will that'll stay up even after you've done the campaign part there. But you'll want to take that portal, go in, and on the northwest corner of that map, there's a little cave there, and that's where the Trial of Elements are. So what you want to do is, whichever one you're wanting to do, you go to the location for it, and then go into the pre-made groups. Click on the custom one and just do a search for Trial of Elements or Trial of Flood. Honestly, you just do a search for Trial, and just every 30 seconds or so, hit refresh on that until something pops up. Usually, whenever anything pops up on there, it's usually active at that time. And the trials usually will last for about 3 to 5 minutes, just depending on how many people are there. So once it pops up, just request to get invited to the group, and then typically you'll get invited to the group, and then you can complete it, and it'll hop you to whatever server that person's on, and you complete it really quickly that way. I did that on my Demon Hunter yesterday, and I got both of them done within about 10 minutes instead of having to sit there and wait for potentially 2 hours for it to spawn.
Yeah.
So it's a much faster way to do it. So yeah, just basically server hop looking for it. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Right. Then we have multiple times a day you can do, and this is every hour, right? Or every couple hours.
It just depends on the event.
So we have community feast, dirt, siege on Dragonbane Keep, and grand hunts.
Yep.
So yeah, make sure to
Yes.
get those done and need to
Yep.
do them throughout the day if you want some more chance at some loot.
Yes. So to break those down a little bit, the community feast happens every 3.5 hours. You can do it as many times a day as you want. However, the real reason to do this is there's two reasons. One, if you get the soup to legendary, then it spawns a rare mob called Biscuitus that has a daily lockout. But also, once per week, the first time that you do it, well, not the first time you do it, but once per week, you can pick up a quest for the community feast. And once you complete 5 tasks in that community feast, you can turn that in and you get a piece of loot. This is kind of like the aiding the accord, where you might want to wait to the end of the week near reset once you've gotten geared up in other various ways, and then it'll scale up with your item level. Now, I will say, with all the scaling up with item level, I don't know how it's going to work past this week. I don't know how high that loot's going to scale up. Right now, it's scaling up higher than any loot you can get. Like all the Dragonbane Keep, the elite rares, the community feast, the aiding the accord, all those are scaling up to like 278 to 285, which is higher than the 272 gear you can get at Mythic Zero. So that's why people are farming them. That's why we're saying wait to the end of the week, because this is potentially the highest gear you can get right now. So it'll be a nice advantage to get to like 270 item level. We'll see if that holds true when Mythic Plus comes out. I don't know. I don't know how high it'll scale up. But yeah, the dirt piles, that is just a part of getting your rep with the Dragon Scale Up expedition, I believe. And then the Siege on Dragonbane Keep and the Grand Hunt. Both of those are repeatable. You can do those every so often. I think the Siege on Dragonbane Keep spawns every 2 hours. The first time that you get it, you get a loot box that is an epic color, purple color strong box. And that one is a really high chance at loot. I don't know if it's a guaranteed chance, but it says it has a high chance. And you can keep doing it, but then subsequent ones, and you can only loot it once every hour, because they had issues with people server hopping and just doing it 10 times in an hour. The secondary boxes after your first time completion, any boxes after that have a lot smaller chance at loot, so it's not a guarantee or anything, and it's most of the time you're probably not going to get loot, but you can loot it once every hour. You can receive a strong box and have a chance at loot. The grand hunts, I believe the grand hunts, only the first one that you complete gives loot. After that, the rest of them, it looks like you can do it basically. You can do it as many times as you want, but it looks like the first 4 times you do it, you get some kind of loot bag that has a chance for equipment, but I think it's a very, very low chance. And it probably might be a lower item level, I don't know. But you can also farm those to increase your renown with the Centaur. But yeah, those are the weekly events and all the bi-weekly, daily, the infinite events, all that stuff.
Yeah. It's good to know.
Yep. Alright, what's next?
We have add-on of the week. Is that what we're on now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And Mythic Dungeon Tool. I don't have that one, so...
That is fine. I would recommend downloading it, though. It's very good for Mythic Plus. Primarily, the tanks are really who need it, because this is where you're going to form your guides, or not your guide, but form your route and figure out what you're going to do. So I thought what we might do is really quickly make a route for the Ruby life pools, just to show you how this add-on works. You also can import routes from Wowhead, from Wago.io, Raider.io. There's lots of different websites out there that you can just import other people's routes in and use those.
Yeah.
You can share the route with people in your party. So let me swap our screen over here. We're good. Let's see. We still got Alex or Bios audio.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Yeah, we're good. All right. We still got everybody's audio. All right. Perfect. I got a new audio thing for our OBS system here, so just make sure it's working. All right. So Mythic
Cool.
Dungeon Tools is this right here. Now, before we start on this one, I'll show you one from a previous expansion from Shadowlands. So basically, you make your guides on here, or form your route. So this one here is Grimrail Depot. So you can see you've got your list of pools here, and it loops them all together. You can put notes in that tell you, whatever you want to put in there. And it'll tell you basically what packs you're planning on pulling, and it gives you, excuse me, it gives you your percentage for each pull. So after each pull, that's the percentage you should be at over here. And that way you kind of look at the top here and see, oh, okay, this one's only got 93%. Now, Season 4 is a little buggy because these guys weren't counting for percentage on this, even though they actually gave percent.
Yeah.
But let's go to Ruby Life Pools and make a quick one. So this is one of the dungeons for Season 1. As you can see, you can choose between all 8 dungeons that are available. So here you just click to add your pool. I think you can also hold down Shift to add a new pool. Yes. Yeah. You can hold down Control, I think, to click an individual unit, but usually you're going to want to click the whole pack anyway. You can click and drag to reorder everything. But let's go ahead and make one. So I think for this, I want to pull... For my very first pull, I'd want these together, possibly those as well. We'll see as we get closer, see what we can handle. But so that puts us at 10%, so already a lot of percentage there. The second pull, I know what I've been doing is this right here and trying to avoid these, but I think sometimes they get pulled. But for now, we'll say we avoid them. The next pull, we're at 19.4%. Here, we're going to pull these two and the big guy. That's what we've been doing. And then the next pull, typically this group ends up getting pulled accidentally. So as you can see, we're at 38%. Got a lot of percentage already. Then we have the boss pull here. You click this little thing to move this up. And actually, let's go back real quick, because I want to put in a note. Up here, you have all the different areas. You can add stuff. You can draw lines, whatever. We're going to insert a note real quick. And we're going to put a note right here. And you just click on it, and you can type in what you want to put. So this here, the note we're going to put is, take the dragon up to the next level. So for those who don't know, in that dungeon, after you kill this first boss, 5 little drakes show up, and you click on them, and they take you up to this top part. So up here, we have to clear everything in order to unlock the boss. Typically, we go counterclockwise. I could put in a note saying that we're going to go counterclockwise, or I could take an arrow and just do this. And it really doesn't matter. You could go clockwise. It's whatever way you and your group decide you want to do it. But for this example, we're going to go counterclockwise. So I have an arrow telling me which way to go. We're going to add the next pull in here. I think we've been skipping these inside guys, honestly. We don't need that. So there, if you make a mistake, you can click on Drawing Eraser and just click on whatever you did, and it'll fix it. We'll put Insert Note for now. Add Pull. Let's get this group in there. This group in there. These guys will pull as we go along. Flame Gullet's there. We'll pull him with those little guys. I think Flame Gullet we fight twice. No, there it is. There's Thunderhead and Flame Gullet. Those are the 2 drakes on Mythic that we have to deal with. So we get all these. We're at 74% on our percentage, so we definitely still need more. As we found out in the normal dungeon we were doing, these casters actually kind of hit hard, so I'd recommend pulling those separate and on their own pool, probably with all these little guys around it. So now that we've cleared all
Yeah.
this, that unlocks the boss. So we'll make the boss the next pool, and then we're going to go down here. You probably can pull that together. Those might aggro with that, though. I don't know. So you might just want to pull just this part, or do this and then do those separate. Actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to say pull those together there. And then we're going to pull this along with that pack. Then this is the big boy pack right here. This one hurts. Definitely want to be careful on Mythic Plus pulling this pack because they do hit hard. So as you can see, we're already
Yes, there's a lot of AoE damage.
Yep, we're already at 108%. I would recommend clearing everything out in this platform, however. So we are going to go ahead and add that in there. So now, as you can see, we are at 114% right here. So we don't need to clear everything that we've got. So we need to figure out where can we cut back. I would say right off the bat here. Honestly, we could probably cut that out, and that puts it at 108%. A really good spot, if it's possible. Oh yeah, here's something else you can do. If you want to know some information about a specific mob, if you right-click while you're on top of it, you can see a lot of their abilities. You can see whether they're affected by taunt or whatever abilities they're affected by. So this guy can't be stunned. No CC works on him. If you look like this guy, it could be stunned, disoriented, slowed, all this stuff. Also, if you look here, they're not in stealth. If they are, this would be checked. And then this mob cannot detect stealth, which to me says, this mob can't detect stealth. We need to shave off another 8.7%. This guy is worth 6%. You can see that on his little tooltip there. It shows that he's got 6.06 is what it counts for. So let's say if you have an Invis Pots or a Rogue, you can just stealth past this guy. So we'll go ahead and take him off. We're going to say we'll skip him, and now we're at 102%. That's basically how you make a route. You want to try to keep that percentage as close to 100% as possible without being under, because you want to make sure you hit 100%. But you don't want to go over by a ton. As you saw at the start there, we had like 114%. That's too much percent. It's extra mobs that you're killing for no reason. So yeah, this route would require a invis of some type. So we'll put in a note right here to say invis or shroud past this guy. So again, like that's right there. That kind of gives you your information. Something that I like to do, this dungeon doesn't necessarily have it, but say for example, let me look at Season 4 of Shadowlands, the Gambit. So like right here, well, I guess this one doesn't have it. Let me see if I have a different. Here we go. This is, I think, from Season 3. So basically, I like to put in notes here. So in this part, what we typically would do, this is like Season 3. What we typically would happen would be we would pull all this stuff, and then we would use the woe, which is part of the seasonal affix that time. We'd use the woe to go invis and skip past all this stuff. But in order for that to work, we need to make sure that we hit a certain percentage. So if we were going to skip past these mobs here, you needed to be at 46%, or 54.63%. If you were going to pull those 4 little guys there, then you need to be at 46% in order to not be under percentage. So little things like that you can throw in there just to show yourself, especially as a tank, to kind of let me know, okay, if I get here, we've pulled this. Once we hit 54%, I know we're good to go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
But definitely a huge tool. One of the most important tools you're going to find. One of the most important add-ons you're going to find for Mythic Plus. It's a must-have at this point, honestly. Yeah, I believe not.
especially for tanks.
Yes, especially for tanks. But yeah, I believe Nagi is who created the add-on. Um, excuse me. I know Raider IO has routes every week you can import. Like I said, Wago IO has routes you can import, and Wowhead occasionally has some routes as well. So if you are interested in getting serious about Mythic Plus, highly recommend picking up this add-on. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's about it. There's a few other things you can do. You can sort it. You can look at like the weekly affixes. So you could make a route for every single week if you really wanted to. I don't know if that's necessarily always needed, but you know, it's possible. Back when we had
Yeah.
Inspiring, it would show you where the Inspiring mobs are going to be at, so you could plan around that. We don't have Inspiring this season, which is going to be wonderful. But yep, that is it. That is Mythic Dungeon tools.
Awesome.
All right, so Bio, what was your week in WoW like?
It involves some leveling and some gearing. Got my hunter leveled up and geared. I think it's like 365 or something now, or yeah, 365, something like that. 368 maybe. I don't know. Playing a lot of marksman. I think it's low key insanely strong. I do think it is stronger than BM right now.
Yep, yeah, I would agree. I think right now it is definitely it is pumping some numbers. I
Yeah.
don't, and again, what all the tier lists and everything. One, it's tier lists. It's going to change. It's always hilarious to look and see what the tier list was before the season started, and then what it actually ended up being. But also,
Yeah.
it could be something where maybe Beast Mastery scales better with the stats and the gear. So maybe once you're geared, Beastmaster's better. Maybe Marksman is just underrated. It could be that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So I did that level by monk yesterday, right?
Yes. Yep, we leveled the
And
monk.
I spent a lot of time last night doing PvP on my monk, gearing him up, and he's now 406 item level PvP.
Nice.
A lot of fun doing PvP on my monk for sure. Definitely gonna try and go for the elites out of the season.
Nice.
And that's about it. I haven't done anything else really, I guess.
Yep. And as far as my weekend WoW, a lot of the same. Did a lot of leveling. Got my Death Knight to max level. Got my Mage to max level. And got my Warlock to max level. So I'm now 11 of 13 classes are max level. All I've got left is a Shaman and a Rogue. Uh, I don't know if I'll knock those out next week or if I'll wait until the next Dark Moon Fair. I'm not positive. I'll probably wait till the next Dark Moon Fair because I think I'm going to focus on just gearing up my mains for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a lot of rare farming, all the world quests, weekly stuff like that on my Demon Hunter. We did Mythic Zeros, we kind of talked about already. We did those on the Demon Hunter and on your Hunter.
Yeah.
I think my Demon Hunter is now 261 or something along those lines, 262 maybe. So we'll hopefully be ready for. We'll definitely be ready for Mythic Plus. I think 260 honestly is high enough to do like 2s and 3s easily. And then I think we'll be able. I think we'll be able to get 10s by the end of next week, possibly.
But how much we do, yeah.
I would say 285 is probably going to be high enough item level. 280, 285 item level will be good enough to do Mythic 10 plus 10s. And
Right.
because end of dungeon loot for a plus 10 I think is 292. So I think if you're
Oh,
at 280,
392.
yes, 392. I'm so used to Shadowlands numbers.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I think so. I think like 280 or 380. I think 380 would be good enough to do plus 10s. I think possibly lower, just depending on the level of skill that everyone has. I think for me,
Right.
I like to be about 10 item levels lower than what the loot that drops is, just to play it safe. Um,
Right.
but no, we've been working on the warrior as well, starting to get him some gear. I don't know. Yeah, Prot Warrior is very strong. It's very strong. I just don't know if I like the play style. I think I just got to get used to it and try it and stick with it for a bit. and we'll see. But Demon Hunter is obviously gonna be my main. I'm gonna raid on the Demon Hunter at least for the first bit, unless we start getting stuck and need to change stuff up or something. But I will definitely be raiding on the Demon Hunter to start with.
So that's where I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, if we need a melee, I have a melee, but if we need a range, I can play my hunter. I don't know exactly what our composition looks like yet.
Right.
But we'll see. I have 2 characters that I'm planning to have ready to go for raiding in case whatever's needed.
Yep. I will be tanking because I know we need a tank, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I hear so many people say, "Oh, it's easier to raid lead if you're tanking," and I'm like, I don't know if I find that true, but I also can see it. I just don't know if it's true for me. I feel like whenever I've raid led, it was easier for me to do it as a DPS than as a tank. Um, but I also understand because a tank typically you're just worrying about positioning, and then taunt swaps, and that's about it. Maybe timing up your mitigations correctly. But as far as DPS, you have a lot more mechanics you're going to deal with typically.
Well, I'll be around to help out with that. So.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we'll definitely be studying up raid fights this week as well.
Yes.
To look and figure our strategies. But yeah, I think at this point we're pretty much just getting geared and getting ready for raid and Mythic Plus. It'll be interesting to see how our raid team does the very first night. I don't really have any kind of set expectations. If we full clear, great. If we don't, then that's cool. Whatever, we'll get down what we can. I think honestly, if a few of our players are like 285, 290, I think we can clear most of it honestly, because I think the raid loot drops. Let me see here. The raid loot.
You looking at normal?
Trying to see.
Drops 389.
389. Okay, yeah. So 390 honestly.
With last boss dropping 398.
Yeah. So I mean I think we should be able to get the first half of that raid probably done. Honestly, I would think the biggest issue we might have the first night is just time-wise. I don't know if we'll have enough time to do a full clear. I think we'll be geared enough and have enough talent that we can do it. I just don't know that we have enough time.
I think our raids might be a little lackluster, like attendance, for the time of year it is right now.
Yeah, well, and that was the other thing. I posted it in Discord. I don't know how many people have seen it yet, but we will be. So Saturday night is our first raid next week, so 1 week from tonight, and then the week of Christmas, the weekend of Christmas and New Year's, we're scheduling it for Friday night. Because Saturday is Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, so obviously people are probably going to have plans. So I scheduled for Friday. If people can't make it, it's not a big deal. I'm not too worried about that. If it's just you and me, then we may just plug into another group, or just do Mythic Plus. Who knows? We'll kind of that's kind of up in the air. We're scheduling the raid. We'll see how many people we have. We'll either plug people in or we'll do Mythic Plus if we don't have anywhere close to enough, or we'll plug into a group. But I'm not too worried about it. We'll be fine. I'll probably jump into LFR probably Wednesday night just to get a look at the raid. And yeah, you and I could probably jump into LFR together Wednesday night and kind of get an idea of what the raid looks like. Just from
and the loot's actually not that bad. It's 376.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, that probably
it'll be upgrade.
Yeah, it'd probably be good to do that first so that we can get upgrades from there, and then jump into Mythic Plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be a fun week. Looking forward to the raid. All the Race for World First stuff will be fun to watch. I always like that.
Yes, me too. It's fun to watch.
I will probably be paying even closer attention to it this time, just so I can look at what they're doing and be like, that's a good strategy. Let's try that.
Now, I don't mean to drag this on, but
no, you're good.
What do you think their tactics gonna be? Seeing that it's all been released at once. You're gonna go into heroic first, you get the gear. You're gonna jump right into mythic.
Yeah, that I really think is interesting. I
I
think,
I think they're gonna do heroic.
I think. So what I'm kind of thinking is you might see them run heroic splits for the first like 5-6 hours, and then I think it'll be
And
a
then attempt the mythic.
combination. Well, it might be a combination of that and then Mythic Plus dungeons,
Right.
because and it Blizzard hasn't announced anything as far as a like a cap, like an item level cap or a dungeon level cap, key cap, like normal for that week. So I'm thinking at this point, because we're only 3 days away from that reset, I'm thinking at this point there's not going to be any kind of limit as to what Mythic Plus you can do, and 15s are going to give pretty good gear, or 20s. I mean, 20s will give really good gear.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like 407 or 406. Let me see here. Wowhead has it on there.
Oh,
Season 1
the
rewards. 405. Yeah, 405 is the item level for Mythic Plus 20s. For end of dungeon. So, the raid, I don't know. What's heroic give? There it is. Loot. So yeah, for heroic, you're looking at 402, 408. So basically, a Mythic Plus 20 and heroic raid are going to give roughly the same loot. So I think you're going to see a combination of Mythic Pluses and raids, heroic raids at first. I don't think you're going to see anybody doing normal raids. I don't expect to see them jumping into normal at all, honestly. With the amount of gear that you can get right now, I'm gonna guess most of the raid team members probably have tunes that are roughly 375 item level, close to 380, and with that level of gear and the talent that these guys have, I'd say they can go right into heroic and clear
yeah, I
heroic.
think so as well.
Um,
Yeah.
Can they go right to Mythic Plus 20s? I don't know. So I'm thinking that's why I kind of thought you might see them go and do clear heroic, get what loot they can from a clear heroic, and then you'll see them jump into Mythic Plus, because at that point they'll have a little bit of extra gear from heroic and they can start doing those high keys. I don't see them wasting time doing like plus 10s, plus 15s to gear up to Mythic 20s. I think they'll gear up to Mythic 20s through the heroic raid.
Yeah.
So I think that's the strategy you're going to see. If it was me, I would plan on doing heroic raid first, clear that as quickly as you can, or at least until you hit a wall, and then do Mythic Plus, upgrade that gear, come back to heroic if you still have a couple bosses to finish, or maybe if your gear is good enough from Mythic Plus, you might dive straight into Mythic, and not even clear out heroic. But I think we're going to see most of them try to clear heroic, especially the last couple bosses, because I think, the last 3 bosses, I don't think they did any testing on. Either the last 2 or the last 3 raid bosses, they didn't do any kind of testing on, so nobody's seen them. So I think a lot of these guilds are going to want to see them on heroic before they dive into mythic.
Right.
Um,
Now, I noticed something interesting on Raid Finder.
okay.
We'll just go to Razageth. Dropped a tier piece. That's 398 off Raid Finder.
Yes.
And that's the exact same for Mythic. Drops 398 as well.
For Mythic?
Yes, Heroic, Normal, Raid Finder, Mythic. They all drop the same item level tier piece.
That's got to be a bug in the tooltip
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna say, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to be it. Actually, I can't even...
Because, like, the last boss in Raid Finder dropping 398 is kind of crazy.
My UI's all messed up. I can't look at the raid stuff. Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I would say that's a bug. I'm sure that Mythic's going to drop like a 415, 421, 424, somewhere in one of the 3 item levels for that. If it's the last boss, I would say it'll probably be 424 tier piece. But yeah, no, my stuff's not working for that. I don't know. I can't see it on here. But yeah, I'm gonna bet it's probably a bug and that it's not 398, because 398 is the you said that's for Raid Finder.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess Raid Finder is actually 385, because that's what they've got listed as the final boss loot. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's probably bugged and is just showing that, because normal raid, the item level would be 398, so that is probably bugged and it's just showing the normal item level across all 4 difficulties.
Right.
But yeah, my guess is it'll be 385 for Raid Finder, 398 for normal, 411 for heroic, and 424 for mythic. Now, I do think one nice thing is I don't see the tier sets increasing your DPS by 35-40% like they did during Shadowlands. I think it'll be a much smaller increase in DPS, maybe about 5% damage increase. But I do think, it'd be good even if you get your tier sets from Raid Finder, a mix of Raid Finder, normal, heroic, whatever. I think if you get tier set bonuses, you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other interesting thing that we could see from this Race to World First is I don't know how many of these guys and girls have gotten their, like, I don't know what kind of decisions they've done as far as leveling up characters. Because I know in Legion, you would level up 10 of the same class. If you were going in as a Holy Paladin, you leveled up 10 Holy Pallies. If you're, competing for World First, you level up 10 Holy Pallies because of the RNG factor of the legendaries. And whichever one of those characters got the better combination of legendaries, that was who you took into the raid.
Right.
Same with tier sets. So for this time, we have our tier sets. So let's say you complete your heroic splits, you complete your Mythic Plus stuff. Let's say if you're doing all plates, let's say you've got 3 Holy Pallies set up or whatever, 3 Demon Hunters. Let's call it 3 Havoc Demon Hunters that you leveled up. You're doing leather splits, so you're going in and whatever. Let's say 2 of those Demon Hunters only get 1 tier piece, and one of them gets 2 tier pieces. Well, now that one's got your 2 set bonus, that's going to be the one you're going to take into the Mythic Raid because you have a 2 set bonus. So I think it's be interesting to see how many different characters of each class that you're playing people have made in order to kind of get that extra chance at getting one of them to get 2 sets or 2 tier pieces instead of just 1. I think that could be interesting to watch and see.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a fun race just because of the fact that, like you said, everything's launching at once. I think that makes it intriguing. I think it creates a lot of variations in strategy, and I know I'm excited to watch and see what they do.
Me too.
All right. You got anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to add in?
Nope, I'm all good.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Appreciate you all watching. Up top, you got my socials. I'm at twitch.tv/Buckblind. YouTube, I'm Buckblind the Demon Hunter. Twitter, I'm at BuckblindDH. Bio, what are your socials?
Got Twitch is QQ_Bioshock, and the same for YouTube, QQ_Bioshock.
Yes, sir. And do you have any videos on YouTube yet?
I've been working on some footage actually.
Nice, awesome. So hopefully you can get some videos up there soon. Be able to see some stuff there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I might take a crack at making like a Vengeance Demon Hunter guide kind of for Mythic Plus here in the next couple weeks. I don't know. We'll see. Make my first guide video. Who knows? Havoc, I don't really want to touch Havoc right now because they just get nerfed every single week.
Yeah, true.
But they are performing very, very strong.
Yes,
so we'll see. We'll see where they end up falling. I don't think the nerfs are going to hurt us too much. I think the hunt nerf will maybe hurt Vengeance a little bit as far as raid goes, but I don't think for Mythic Plus it really hurts too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is it for now. Any last words?
See you next week.
Yep, we will see you guys next week. Appreciate you watching and listening, and have a great week.
Bye, guys.